user conferences, where regionally around the country on an annual basis, half a dozen different regions, there'll be groups of folks like you coming together, hearing how each other are doing things, and bringing your own ideas to us on how we can help you do things even better. User conferences. A big thing that goes along with that is a huge part of our marketing initiatives this year that you're going to be hearing more about as the year goes on is user communities. Looking at, from a website standpoint, how can we link these 30,000 people that use TurningPoint all the time, and we think soon to be 300,000 people? How can we link them through the internet with resources? How can we share resources for our partners that are writing books that include ideas on how to use our technologies in different specific markets? How can we link prospective users with them, as well as them with each other, as well as people that have created, and there are multiple people that have created incredible quality content that works with our products. And more importantly, this isn't, by the way, this isn't a commercial venture, the user community. This is free access for all of our users. Because we're convinced that if you use it, you'll buy more. But a community where a professor of social psychology at Eastern Illinois University that does something incredible from a question standpoint and applying what he's teaching in the class can post that stuff. And a professor at Youngstown State University or Ohio State University or Stanford can see that and see what his peers are doing and download resources and use them himself. And I know that many of you have worked countless hours in creating content that you deliver in your lectures that could help so many others. We want to create an environment that'll facilitate that, and we're just working through what that might look like now. So be thinking this week as to how you'd like to see that look. Right now, more than ever, we're looking for your feedback on those kinds of things. Together with the user community or the specific user groups that we are going to find that 21% that consider themselves power users, and we're going to tap into your knowledge and your ideas on how to get better and how to make more available to potential users. And finally, we're creating for the first time in our company a formal advisory board of directors that is not business people. It's users of our technology to look at our company at the highest level and advise us on where we need to go, to be responsive to the marketplace, to be responsive to your needs. And it's going to consist of university educators. It's going to consist of K-12 school teachers. It's going to consist of corporate trainers. It's going to consist of folks in other countries in our international markets. And their goal is going to be to advise our senior management on how we can effectively be prepared for the future. The emphasis on the future is going to be on innovation through how it's being used effectively. If TurningPoint is going to continue to stand out from competitive products, it's going to be because you folks are doing incredible things and we're sharing your ideas in the most effective way. That is, in my mind, more than anything else, the future of audience response and learning technologies in general. That's the key to making technology initiatives become learning initiatives for our students. In that light, I just want to take about 5 minutes, and we're going to have lots of opportunity for your feedback this week that will be specific from a product level, from a technology level. But I want to take 5 minutes for a few questions, if you have any, that if we can try to keep it more from a 30,000 square foot perspective and looking at long-term future, those kinds of things. Don't ask me about the technology. I may not know the answer, and I don't want to be embarrassed. But if you have specific questions about the long-term future of audience response technology, TurningPoint in general, I would be happy to take a couple. Anybody? Wow, it was an idea.
There we go.
Well, yes, great.
I got a pretty booming voice.
There you go.
I'm very excited. My name's Christy Blue. I'm from University of Illinois,
Great.
IT accessibility specialist, and very excited to hear your commitment to usability and interoperability. How are the plans in regards to accessibility, looking at people with different disabilities? We've been working with Carrie, very excited on some of the things you're working on at this time, but as a long-term goal, what are you looking at in regards with accessibility and maybe even like with the VPad?
Good question. I'll mention initially a quick response. We were particularly pleased just very recently to introduce a Braille response card, a version of our response card that you're using today that the buttons had Braille, and instead of the light, the multicolored light had different vibrations in its place for the visually handicapped. That is available, and it's available now. And by the way, it costs the same as this one, just limited quantities. If you need them, contact your rep. We'll get whatever you need. Those kinds of, I'll say initially that we did that to demonstrate our commitment in this area. We've looked at the VPAD thing. We've talked about what that might mean to meet some of the federal requirements from a disability perspective to be certified in that area, and we're early. So now is a great time for you to ask that question. Sometime in the next 2 days, and Todd Penny need to have a conversation. And if you're willing to give him your business card, he will be in touch with you for ideas as those plans continue to go forward. I think it is a very important goal for our technology. Thank you. Anybody else? One more. Yes, sir.
Doug Smith from Illinois State. As you know, we've got your product all over our campus, but one area of confusion perhaps is the financial model of TurningPoint, especially as it relates to keeping clickers on campus through the bookstores and reselling them as used clickers. Could you give us a little overview as to how the model, how we can expect R&D to keep funded and this product keep going as quickly as it has?
Well, we don't have a problem with you selling used clickers. There are some warranty issues, and we do think they eventually have a product life that will need replaced. However, we think funding our company and ongoing growth is going to be best accomplished by more folks at your university using it. Currently, another study we did with Thompson Learning, about 4% of higher ed students in the U.S. use some sort of clicker. That tells me that 96% don't. There's a lot of opportunity for growth there, number one. Number two, we're innovating with new products, those kinds of things. Some of your question might be better answered by some of our other folks that are closer to the distribution process, but I will tell you that, and I'm not even sure if I'm answering your questions right now. One of the things we're going to announce by this fall is that an option that will be available to all of our higher ed customers will be e-commerce. Our students can go online and order their clicker. One of the struggles that we have that vary from campus to campus are bookstores and how they sell our product and how they mark it up, sometimes exponentially. And we don't have any control over that. And it's between the university and the bookstore, but if a university wants e-commerce available to their students, eliminating the bookstore margin, making it even more affordable for them, that's going to be available.